Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Guild Wars Let's Play. In the previous episode, we did the Nolani Academy mission, as well as got our first introduction to the snowy region with some quests around the area of Yaxben. We are now in Borealis Pass, ready to do a mission. Let's go on in. So for this we have to ignite all the storm beacons, so we actually have to pick up this bundle, carry it with us this whole way. Looks like some centaurs are attacking. Oof, that's some AoE damage. I don't think he even got that rupped, but anyway, I'm gonna keep walking down here and lighten these up. I mentioned in the end of the last episode, but I actually really like this snow effect. Like the little snow particles. I don't know. I've always loved like snowy or desert areas in games. I don't know why. I think it's because like in a lot of medieval fantasy games, like the standard areas are like your, you know, your forests, your woodland areas. And then like generally your end game zones or your like, you know, the place where you're going to spend a lot of time in the post-game and stuff like that are like your more harsh climates. It's like your really snowy zones, your deserts. It's a storm beacon. I forget how many of these there actually are. But I know we have to light all of them as we go. And I have 100% done this mission before and forgot to light one and had to go all the way back. There's a protector up there, so that's a healer. Oh, so a couple episodes ago, I'm not sure if I was recording this, but see how this guy's glitched? This actually has something very common with the AI pathing in this game. That's used for in a lot of the end game zones, purposely getting mobs to glitch out like he was there on the side of the wall. Collect us some items. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have any particular like fantasy locales or climates that you like? It's specifically more like standard ones, not like a super unique one, because we'll get to all those juicy discussions when we get to factions, because that's got probably my favorite fantasy settings ever in it. Yeah, protector. Yeah. Make sure we get that guy down, so we don't have any healer anymore. Let me tell you, this necro henchman that they give you, actually really nice that he has this blood ritual to keep our energy up so we can keep spamming. Because God forbid I actually remember to use the skills of my bar and use Glyph of Lesser Energy for the reason I took it, so I have energy to cash stuff. I forget how many beacons there are, but I think there's quite a few of them. Little frozen lake down there. I believe this is one of the last areas that I actually got stuck in as a kid. So as a kid I got stuck in pre-searing, and then I got stuck in Ascalon for a little bit. I mean when I was a really little kid. Like 6, maybe 7. And then I got stuck here in the Shiver Peaks. That was the last place I got stuck with in a Guild Wars, or in Guild Wars, before I eventually, like, you know, actually started making better builds and stuff like that. So, so I cast Backfire on that boss, and he hasn't actually used that many skills. Let's get that healer down if we can. I don't know what on earth skills they gave this necromancer, but he's not using them, so... Maybe they gave him, like, summon skills, but there's no corpses for him to make summons out of, or... I don't know why on earth. I don't think this is the bonus, I think it's just the normal one. Okay, so he's gonna keep... It's burning. That's another thing, actually, that I realized. Enemies, the low-level... Even the low-level enemies in Prophecies tend to also have interrupts, whereas, like, in the other campaigns, it's actually kind of rare for mobs to have interrupts. But a lot of these early game rangers have interrupts, which is quite interesting. Oh, okay, so I think... Yeah, so this is the mission where we get to use these powder kegs. And we get to use these powder kegs to blow up doors and stuff to get through. There's kegs over there. Go pick one up. And we just carry one with us to a door and use it. You also have some of these in like some instances, and I definitely have very fond memories of. There used to be a way, like some instances, you pick them up and you spam drop them on the ground. What happens when you drop them on the ground is that they it's gonna knock us all down. Yep, he knocked us all down. But whenever you drop them, they would do some damage, and I have memories of just like spamming my keyboard as hard as possible to drop like 400 of these things on the ground just to insta-kill whatever the heck was around us. We got a Mesmer boss here, so we're gonna lead with a backfire. And he's gonna cast a ton of spells and instantly kill himself. That's what I like to see. Meanwhile, little Thorn over there is a little broken. I don't know what it is. The caster AI in this game is like actually insane. Like the casters in your party, like they're really quick with interrupts. They're like super responsive to targets you ping and stuff like that. The melee guys, not so much. They tend to be a little bit a little potatoey. Boom. So this is our first real experience with the PvE only skill, this Giant Stomp. So, or sorry, not PvE only skill, enemy skill. There are a couple, there aren't that many in the game. I think at the wiki, there's only like 40 maybe, something along those lines. Which sounds like a lot, but compared to the fact that there's like 2,000 skills or something like that, maybe even more, for the actual characters in the game. The fact that they only needed to add like 50 skills just to give some enemy variety is actually pretty impressive. But these are the only skills we can't get. And I remember this is one of the ones that as a kid that I always would have loved to have, because it literally just causes AoE knockdown. Okay, so I think we have to do this. So we're going to put empathy on him so he just kills himself really freaking quick. Yeah, really quick. Yeah, they're sieging that dwarven town over there. That's what we're trying to stop right now. We're in, these are the Stone Summit, basically the evil dwarves. Evil! Yeah, I think we're heading up this way. Man, that guy has a cripple too. See, I wasn't I was joking when I said these Prophecies mobs, sometimes they don't mess around. They actually got quite a bit of control, since some of them have like enchantment removal and stuff like that. That's also something that's kind of rare in the later games. At least, to my knowledge, it is. Because Doliak's Rider is a healer, so we're going to make sure we backfire them. It's interesting that the enemies put empathy on me, considering I don't have a melee weapon equipped. Normally they prioritize enemies with melee weapons, but whatever. I think we just go through here. Yeah, I think we're going up here, and we're gonna go basically around and into the town that we just stopped those ballistas from shooting at, I believe, is where we're headed. I hope, or it could be one of those things like I was talking about earlier, where sometimes Prophecies sends you on the wildest of goose chases. You'll just end up halfway across the map in a dead end. Our little imp friend is getting a ton of damage off here because these ice golems are double weak to fire. So again, we got the rider here, so we're gonna try to get right in range and then try to cast backfire on him. And then he has hex removal, so I'm gonna make sure I cover the hex with overload, which is like just my cruddy hex that I can just put up and have it so he rips that off instead of taking backfire off, so it still does a lot of damage to him. Yeah. It's not really said anywhere, but I believe that they are also making these ice golems. Oh, we might get destroyed here. Oh, never mind. We're good. We double aggro them. Doliak Rider again. We're going to make sure we hex him up and then apply a cover hex. So when he goes to remove his hex, he removes the one that's not doing a ton of damage to him. Oof, that enchantment rip is kind of painful. Does a lot of damage to me, and it's getting rid of my my blood ritual, which is giving me my energy. All right, one more. And then I believe we just have to finish clearing these guys out front, and then they'll let us in to meet with the nice dwarves that live here. Let's see if maybe we can take these guys, or take the golems by themselves and not also run into the pack. The stone summit just in case. Nope. Alright. Same thing here. We hex up the rider, and then we chuck a cover hex on him so he doesn't remove the hex we actually want him to have. Alright, we open the gate. And there's Prince Rurik. He ran on ahead like he normally does. Oh, there's a King Jalus Iron Hammer over there. I believe that's the head honcho. That's the big beef. Oh, here we go.
Ah, my good and excellent friends. I got pinned down here in Croc's Hollow when the Stone Summit attacked.
Good thing we arrived when we did.
I owe you many thanks. I would raise a pint of dwarven ale in your honor, but there is still much work to do.
Well, perhaps when everyone is safely through Borlus Pass.
Agreed, but now I must go back and lead our people to Grubel's Gulch. You go on ahead and clear the way. Secure a shelter for the night, and then we'll see about that ale.
As you wish, my prince.
Talk to King Ironhammer. He'll help you garner safe passage into the gulch. I will see you there.
King Ironhammer, the big cheese. There he is. In his lovely.
The good dwarves of Deldrimor thank you for your help.
We do what we can to honor the old alliances.
Then the Deldrimor dwarfs will honor them as well. Your prince's request for passage through the mountains has been granted.
I'm not sure about his voice.
Enchanted torch and light the beacon outside Grubel's Gulch. My brother, Breknar Ironhammer, will open the gate for you once he sees the arcane flame. Your people will be safe in the gulch for the night.
Thank you, King Ironhammer.
Anything for our friends.
Yo, can't we just hang out
Now,
here? It's gotta be a
waste
tavern
no
or something.
more
We could
time
all
here.
chilling.
Night will be upon you, and your people will freeze in the cold without shelter.
Yeah, without shelter. Looks at
Follow
big
me
building
to the
behind
gate.
him. Looks at big ass buildings behind him. Can't we just, you know, go in there? No. The gulch. All right. But that reminded me of something I wanted to talk about. As we were seeing our little like imp dude run around in the cutscene there, and when we had those that Moa and those random villagers running around in one a little while ago, and that is that like the way the cutscenes work in this game is that only the player character and is like actually set in place. The rest of the world will still move around you. So like in that situation, our imp would still run around, or like in the previous one, the Moas and the random like NPC fodder of the mission will still run around. This also means that you can still be attacked in missions, which can lead to some comedic things. I don't believe you can die, at least I've never actually died in a cutscene. But it does lead to some comedic moments where you can be at the end of a mission in a cutscene and still getting the crap beaten out of you. It's quite funny. Quite amusing. You trade one torch for another torch. If you're a ranger, it tends to happen a lot because your pet will always like basically run back to you and then just hang out with you. So that is one of those things. I always thought these were cool, these like lifts that had the packages and stuff going back and forth. Here's a Doliac rider again up here. Oh, let's see if we can get them before they get to that other pack. Nope, and he removed text right away. Okay, this could be rough. Oh, maybe not. Maybe we got the... Okay, we got the rider. We're good. I was a little worried we'd end up in a situation where he was just chain healing his allies. Let's pick up some random junk. I will say that's one thing. I think the weapon system in this game is really well done. You can actually equip any weapon as any class, and the different weapons have different properties. And that means if you're like really min-maxing, there's reasons, because also there's different mods for the different kinds of weapons. So there's different reasons to equip different kinds of weapons. So like, for example, in PvP or whatever, it wasn't uncommon for even casters and stuff to have like a sword and a shield set or something like that. Just to get the extra bit of defense and maybe some extra HP to prevent you from getting, you know, dead. Trying to prevent you from deading. But it's a really cool system, and it means that, you know, even necessarily you don't, even if your class might not necessarily use a weapon, like here, how like I can't actually, like I don't have a bow, I don't have bow skills. I'm not a part ranger, but there's still a reason for me to have a bow, because I can use it for pulling from long ranges without having to run in range. But because of that, it also feels like it's kind of annoying to get the mods for weapons. At least like while you're actually playing through the game. So how weapons work, especially in the later campaigns, is that there's mods that you can put on them. Some of them will give you like extra HP or a little bit extra defense, or like longer enchantments, just a whole bunch of different little things. But especially while you're going through the campaigns, it can be pretty awkward to try to find like the ones you actually want. So a lot of times players, especially back in the day before it was, you know, mainly just wealthy players left, a lot of people would use like greens or go to areas to get specifically crafted items that had specific stats, instead of like, you know, using the mod system to just take their favorite skin or whatever and adding mods to it, which is definitely something people, you know, do and still do. But back in the day, it was definitely more common to use these. We were talking about the rarities in the past couple episodes, and green is a rarity that means unique. So the mods on it are not changeable. So a lot of people would end up using these greens because they were like a set mods that would be kind of annoying to find, and especially some of the rarer ones. But some of these mods are really powerful, and some of them actually are important to like your build, or can be important to your build. Like you can make your weapons do frost damage or something like that. Maybe you have a reason in your build to have your weapons do frost damage or something. But it can be really annoying to try to find those mods out in the wild. I think that's one thing that maybe they could have done better when they were designing this game. Is make a, I don't know, maybe a vendor that sells the mods or something, not just the weapons, with them.
The beacon! It's lit! The way must be clear. Now is our chance. We make for Grubel's Gulch.
Some nice cinematic shots here. I like this dwarven architecture, the wood with like the greenish stone. Again, the shaky cam.
The fighting has stopped. They must have had too much ale tonight.
No, that was no brawl. I could swear I heard the shouts of men.
What would men be doing on Shiver Peak?
I do not know. These are strange days.
Sir, the beacon has been lit.
Impossible. The stone summit would never abandon their posts.
The flames burn brightly, sir. And there is more. A band of men are marching for the gulch. They're approaching the gate.
So, it was men who lit the beacon.
Whoever it was, they had to get through Dagnar's men to do it. Any enemy of the Stone Summit is a friend of Deldrimor. Open the gate!
That seems like a risk.
Prepare quarters.
Okay, so the Gulch is actually another, it's another settlement. I thought he was literally just throwing us in the ravine and be like, you guys will be fine there freezing for the night. It's like, can we stay in your house?
I am Brechnor Ironhammer, Lord of Grubel's Gulch.
I am Rurik of Ascalon. Your brother, the king, speaks highly of your hospitality.
My brother tells the truth. What brings you here?
I'm leading these refugees over the Shiver Peaks. We wish to cross Boreless Pass into the human kingdom of Kryta.
Well then, Rurik of Ascalon, welcome to Grubel's Gulch. You are free to stay with us as long as you will.
Thank you, mountain friend. Rin is forever in your debt.
Didn't you get kicked out of Rin? But anyway. The Frost Gate. I believe this is the next mission. Yeah, this is the next mission. So this is the one of the few times where, like, sometimes the missions feel like whenever you're done with them, they just pop you out in some random place. But this one's actually like, okay, it makes sense we went up this way and came out here. You actually don't need to come this way. You don't need to do any of the missions, actually, in this campaign until, like... how far can you... I think you can get all the way down to, like, the last mission in the jungle. Actually, wait, no, because you can go... You could basically, you only have to do 4 missions in this entire campaign out of like the 20 something if you know how to get around the map. So you can actually like go up this way, up around here, like down, and then keep continuing with the story that way. You don't actually have to go through these missions, but it's nice to see that this one's actually a decent line. So let's read the Frost Gate. The Frost Gate was built by the Deldrimor dwarves, those are the good dwarfs, as a way to protect their homes from invaders coming through borderless paths. When Civil War broke out, the gate fell into the hands of the Stone Summit, a xenophobic group of dwarfs renegades who are just trying to overthrow King Jalus Ironhammer. Now, no one gets through the pass unless the summit allows it. Well, we are going to take offense to that, so we're going to go beat us some dwarven booty. However, I believe we are going to call it there for the end of this episode, just to keep it at around the half-hour mark instead of giving you a... because this mission's pretty long as well, if I remember. But I really like the architecture of the dwarves. Like I said, the like green stone-ish metal looking stuff and the little... I don't know, it's not very... This game is very stylized, like obviously not very... No, even a dwarf, probably this isn't enough space for a house, but I don't know, something about this architecture in this game is just charming. Maybe that's probably just purely nostalgia because I've played the game for so long, right? But I don't know. I have quite the connection to this world. But anyway, that's going to be it for the end of today's episode. I guess it's like the long house is like the chief's house or something. But anyway, thanks for coming out. And I hope you have a great day.